What's happening, people, and welcome to the Rambling Dad podcast. And today I am joined by Aaron Aby. What's happening, brother? You good?
I'm good, mate. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. How's your weekend been? You been up to much?
Just grafting, training. I've had a bit of I have Sundays off, so I've chilled out.
Right, okay.
Out for a coffee, walk the dog.
Yeah.
Rest and recover day, ready for the last week of training.
Right, awesome, mate. Awesome. So yeah, let's get stuck into that then. So obviously last week of training coming up. So big, massive fight coming up for you, mate. You got Octagon 48 flyweight title championship on the line. You know what I mean? Was it 4th of November at the Manchester AO Arena? So yeah, congrats again, mate. Massive opportunity for you here. So tell me a bit about how all of it came together then, because you were with who's it you were with before? AE?
Yeah. Well, I've been a bit of a free agent since Cage Warriors.
Right.
I just to do a bit of traveling and just be able to take as many fights as possible. Sometimes when you sign to an organization, they I don't like not being active. I think after the weekend and listening to Volkanovski talk about it, it's I need that competition and being active and always having that next fight ahead. So after Cage Warriors, I just wanted to get a bit more active, do a bit more traveling, and just be a free agent for a little bit. I know Octagon have been coming to the UK for a bit, and they've been in talks with a management company. And obviously, if I'm gonna settle down and sign with someone, I want it to be like one of the best organizations going, and that opportunity's come up in front of me, and I just had to. I knew I had to get a good winning streak behind me, and I'd have a good opportunity. Did I think it would be something this big? No. However, I'm grateful for it, and I'm ready to go and take it.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Awesome. Obviously, like you said there, winning streak. You got the 2-fight winning streak at the moment, aren't you? You've done quite well in your last 2 bouts that have came out. So opportunity well deserved. And obviously, like you said, you need to grab it with both hands and just absolutely run with it. You can't pass up on it. And Octagon are doing great things. Obviously, like you say, Octagon 48. So they've not had hundreds and hundreds like someone like the UFC, but they're on the up and up, man. And every one of the shows is looking better and better every time you see them coming out. So what were your thoughts when you were approached then? Tell me a little bit about that. What was going through your head?
It was almost like a slow burner because I'd already had my fight booked on UAE Warriors before. And I did know that maybe a loss could change what was ahead of me. There was no talks of a title or anything at the time. And then after I went and got that UAE Warriors win, things progressed pretty quickly. But as you were saying just previously, that Octagon are only on their 48th show, which grand scheme of things is a small number compared to where they're going to get to. But however, how big they are for their 48th show and what they're doing inside the UK, but also outside of the UK, it's something that I'm excited to be a part of. Been watching the Challenger show on Channel 4, but they were talking about, the two owners like remortgaging their houses to build the show, and that's something that inspires me and motivates me and wants me to be part of something. I think that with passionate owners like that who are willing to take a risk to grow something they love, is something that I want to be a part of, and I want to help them grow it as well, because I feel like they're good people and they're going to do good things for the sport, but also they're going to do massive things for UK MMA fighters and the opportunities they provide to people.
Well, like you say there, mate, putting the houses on the line, putting the livelihood on the line to actually make this happen and make it work. That just shows you that they're invested, like you said. You're probably not going to get many people doing that, and it also gives the fans and the fighters that backing that they're here to stay and they're here to make a good go of it. They're not just in it for the profit. They're not looking at it from a promotional side of things alone. They're invested, and this is kind of like their little baby that they want to make happen. Like they're really nurturing this thing and getting it to go to the places that they want it to reach to. So that's excellent, mate. So your opponent, have you seen much on him? Obviously, he's got a bit of experience himself. So what's your thoughts on him?
Right, I think he's a good opponent. He's he's supporting the UFC. He's on a 3-fight winning streak himself on Combat Global. He's from a good gym. Obviously, he's cousin with Anthony Pettis, so they're from a fighting family. But you know, that's what I want. I want the tough tests, especially it's the biggest fight of my career for the, you know, the biggest prize of my career is the Octagon World Flyweight Title. So I do want it to be my toughest test. I wouldn't want it any other way, and I'm excited to go in there on the night and put it all on the line and bring the best version of myself and take on that challenge. You know, that's what I'm here for, especially where my career. I just want those tough challenges. I want to test myself against the best for the best, and this is a massive opportunity for me against a really good opponent and something I'm excited about.
Wicked, mate, wicked. So obviously you have a massive backing behind you as well. So you want that test, you want it out there. You done some training in Liverpool yourself as well, didn't you, recently? And you know, I'm sure, but Wrexham's what 40 minutes away from the north. I'm from Warrington originally myself, so I'm not too far away from you. So you're about half an hour, 40 minutes away from like Manchester or something like that, aren't you? So
about an hour to be fair.
There we go.
Not far, but I've always been well supported. I've been fortunate, you know, growing up as a kid. I've been from a strong community, you know, village, the town, people around me that know me. You know, I'm always fortunate that I've been well supported. So I know that you watch some of my earlier fights, you'll see there's always a crowd there. We always bring a massive atmosphere, and it's going to be a bit more special, I think. There's an army of supporters coming, and I'm hoping we can raise the roof, because I do feel like Octagon's known for its support and its fans, and like that when you watch the shows, you can see how well supported they are. Like we can match that and bring them the special sport to join to the special fan base that Octagon MMA have. I'm looking to bring my fans towards that, and I feel like they'll fit in perfectly.
Yeah, 100%. Like you say, your previous shows as well as I've recently been watching Welcome to Wrexham, and mate, the community that you've got in that town is absolutely incredible. The passion and the love that they have for their own team, for their own players, for everything. You back each other 100%, and I'm definitely sure they're all going to be backing you coming into it. You're going to have a thousand Welsh Dragons marching down to that cage with you, mate. That's how that's going to be going. So, and obviously, like I say, training in Liverpool and things, you're going to have some of the Northwest crowd are going to turn up for you too. I mean, so you're going to have a massive backing behind you. So, how's the camp going? Like you said, moving towards the last week now. So, how's it been so far?
It's going really well. It's been tough, but as it should be. But you know, we've been progressing. We've been smart with training. We've been working some specific stuff. But it's like people say to me, like, have you done, like, this is the biggest fight, are you doing anything different? Like, are you putting extra work in? And I'm like, no, because I always put the work in. You know, like getting to where I am, that's not because I've half-hearted me camps in the past and I'm going to step it up now. I've always been this way. I've always paid attention to detail. I've always give everything. I'll never miss a session. And this one's been exactly the same. I've done nothing different other than prepare for a specific opponent, like I always do, and change things in little ways like that. But it's not like I've added an extra 15% of work in. I'm always doing the same. I'm always like this anyway, and I feel like that's why I've had success in the past as well.
Yeah, but that was leading. Sorry, mate. 1 second. Just stop this while I'm up it. That was leading to my next question there as well. I was actually about to say, has this been any different for you leading into it, with it being a championship fight? Has it looked any different? But like you say,
the only thing that's been different is the extra sparring rounds. As in, normally preparing for a 3-round fight, so I might do 3 or 4 rounds. This time I'm preparing 5-round fight, so I'm doing 5 or 6. Which does take its toll, like over the weeks of doing those extra rounds and those spars. You know, it can make you tired and stuff, but other than that, nothing's no different. Coming with the same intensity we have done all the time. It's, you know, every fight that I fought previously is my last fight, so I treat them all that way. So no, nothing we've changed.
just same strong-minded mentality going through it like you do with every single other fight as well. And speaking about that, you know what I mean, mate, you've had fight after fight in your life. You've won more fights than what most people could have come over as well. So let's get into a little bit more about Aaron Aby and who you are, and a little bit about your story and why it's so incredible, what some people might not know. So obviously you were born and diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at 2 weeks old, I think it was, wasn't it, from what I've seen from reading a bit about your backstory. And for anybody that doesn't know, the disorder is a disorder of the cell membranes, and it affects the lungs, digestive system, a few other pieces as well. But mate, for somebody like you to go through that, be living with that through your life, managing it, and achieve what you've achieved is absolutely incredible. And it should inspire thousands, if not millions, of people around the world to, like, once you win this title and you hit that world stage and more people hear about you, mate, you're going to be a massive inspiration. So just tell me a little bit about you. Obviously, what was it like growing up with cystic fibrosis? I know you had a lot of support from your parents as well, going through it, kept you active and stuff, but give you the stage, mate, and let you tell your story.
Yeah, you know, growing up as an early child and through those early years, I didn't really know any different. I thought everyone was the same. I thought everyone had to have tablets before they ate. I thought everyone was going to the hospital every 4 weeks for checkups and
Right.
Nebby. I didn't know any different. As I got older, I started learning more about like cystic fibrosis when you started going through secondary school, and noticed that maybe a little bit wasn't the same as everyone else. You know, I remember turning up for year 7 PE, moving to secondary school, and there was like 2 groups, so they put you in group 1 or group 2. And I remember like being a really good footballer, primary school captain and everything, and I've gone into school like, and they haven't put me down on any of the names in any of the. So I like went over, I said, "Oh, what group am I in?" And they were like, "Oh, you're going to go with the disabled group." And I remember like being shocked and was like, "Why? I'm not like, why? Like, you know, I should be with them. That my friends are over there."
Yeah.
And I remember like I had to go home. My mum or my dad had to call school, and then they were like, "Oh, you can do the same tests as everyone else." And I remember like that's when I started being like, "Why am I getting treated differently?" And I remember like the bleep test and the 12-minute Cooper's run, and I beat everyone in the school, and I think I set a new record for the 1500 meters in that year. And then I was like, I would almost try and use like those fitness tests or sport or football to like prove I was the same as everyone else. And then I started like learning more about cystic fibrosis and using almost like exercise to combat the condition and fight it and train my lungs. So I just kept growing that way really, and just learning more about nutrition as I got older, and using sport to combat it.
So obviously you said that like you never know, so it's probably like childhood innocence really. You wasn't going through it, you cracked on with all the rest of the kids. You were running around not knowing any different, you know what I mean? Then you get to high school and you got put in a box, man. I can't imagine how that must have felt on that first day being there and having that happen.
That was like when I started like learning more about it, and like studying genetics in science class and biology and everything, and that's when like things started clicking. But again, it never got me down. I just used it to motivate me, because like the more people, if someone told me I couldn't, that was like fire in my belly. I would never let anything get me down like that. It was always right, I'm going to prove you wrong, whether that was teachers, doctors, friends, you know, other people I was playing against, anything. If someone tells me I can't, I've got to do it. You know, I was one of those kids growing up. You know, you said don't put your hand in the fire. My hand was going in the fire.
He's going in the fire. Why not though? I need to find out for myself why.
Yeah, which wasn't always the best way to be, but I feel like it's got me to where I am now.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it was like that little bit of defiance of like getting told you can't do something. Well, watch me. Yeah, I mean, don't tell me I can't, because I'm going to go and do it. Yeah, I mean, like, and probably did make you the person that you are today. Like, obviously, everyone goes through sometimes in high school where, like, not to that extent where you get put into a disabled team compared to like what they're just putting you with the rest of the class. But which again must have been pretty tough for a young boy to understand. Why is that happening, especially coming into your teenage years as well? But it gave you that determination to push forward and say, no, I'm just gonna smash every single one of you there, and I'm gonna do everything that I can to beat the records, like you say, the bleep test and all the rest of it, setting a running track record as well. Did you ever notice yourself that like you had difficulty with your breathing? Like you said, you were going to hospital quite often. Was there times where you had to come over your own mindset and push through that, or was it times?
Sometimes there was, but I would say as I was getting older, but again, I didn't know any different. So like, because I was like one of the fittest in football and like the cross country guy and the guy to run the long distances for the school. The time I noticed the difference is when obviously calf trio come out for cystic fibrosis patients, which just bring the mucus that because we have thick sticky mucus that clogs our airways and our lungs. And when I started taking that tablet that thinned it, I was like, oh, this is how it feels like to breathe. I was like, that is mad, because I've never known any different. I've always breathed the same way for 27 years of my life. It was when I started taking calf trio that I noticed a massive difference, that I was like, oh, that's how I should be breathing. And my lungs aren't the same as as a normal person would be of someone my age, but they're in a hell of a lot better condition. And I think like if it wasn't through exercise and sport growing up, I would and I wouldn't be who or where I'm at now. Because a lot of things, I say this all the time, I feel like fitness and conditioning and breathing is mentality. I remember like doing the bleep test at Wrexham with the first team at the time, and it was me and Darren Ferguson for the last two, and he actually was the only guy to beat me in the team,
really,
out of everyone. However, the coaches pulled us. They were like, right, you're not in the lines anymore, you're done, and stopped us going. And I remember at the end, like Kevin Russell sat the team down and he said, listen, those two didn't quit. He said they got told they were done. He said the rest of you would get to like level 13, oh, that's me done. Or you'd line and you'd stop. He said those two, we had to say, you're done. You're not hitting the lines anymore. Get out. He said, that's mentality. And like that always stuck with me, because that was it. Like I didn't quit. I was like, I missed a line. I'd still try and keep getting the next line, but then the coach was like, just like 4 in a row. Now you're done. And it was the same with Darren Ferguson. And that always stuck with me throughout everything, because it like proved to me, that maybe you're right. Maybe if I wouldn't have had this mindset, I wouldn't be as fit as I was or as healthy as I was. So just little things like that maybe stuck with me.
So other than the factors of like people telling you couldn't, what else do you reckon like played into that mentality? What helped drive it? What helped influence it or shape it a little bit? Was there any sort of, like, say, parental support or anything that kind of pushed you that little bit more?
I think definitely parents around me, people around me, spending time in high level sport. Like I used to grow up watching like Rocky movies, Superman, Karate Kid.
Were you born 1990, weren't you?
Yeah, Mighty Ducks.
Mate, Mighty Ducks is the bee's knees. I'm 1991, mate, so I'm only 1 year after you as well, man. So we grew up watching all the same stuff.
You know, the underdog story, and I remember like I'd like get told by like you never quit. Like it doesn't matter if you win, you lose, but you never quit. And there's like even growing up with your mates, if one goes for a fight, you're all in for a fight. Just little stuff like that I related to, and you know, just like being brought up around that type of people in that type of environment, I think has fitted into who I am now.
And did you feel like you related to those movies quite a bit? Or like did you feel like you were an underdog story yourself when you were coming through things and you were trying to push through stuff?
Yeah, definitely. And I've said a few times in interviews for this fight, this is like my Rocky story. This is like the finale of the first movie or whatever, where my chance at a world title and doing something that, you know, people say I would never been able to do. they probably laughed at you at the start of my career and stuff. This is my chance, and then this is what I spoke about. This is the right opponent for me because obviously he's good. He's been in the UFC.
Yeah.
People are maybe writing me off, and this is my chance to go and cement that ending.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like it's got a lot of meaning to you, this fight as well. Then, you know what I mean, you've got a lot of heart behind it, and it would mean the world to you to get the win on this one.
Yeah, it is honestly for my career gonna mean everything, and like that's why it's a big chance, and you know I'm thriving in it. I'm enjoying the extra pressure.
Yeah.
I'm making sure I appreciate it as well, and like really try and enjoy the moment and the process towards it, and you know whether I do it or not on the night, I'm gonna make sure I give everything I can to do it, and that'll sit with me for the rest of my life, really.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure you're going to get it done, mate. From even just talking to you here now for the last 15 minutes or something, you've got a mindset that's completely off the charts from other people. What you say, you're always determined to get it done and never get told never. You've got like a massive hope, not riding on this fight, you know what I mean, but a massive hope and belief in this fight that this would show everybody, like put you out there and nobody doubt me again. You know what I mean? I am Aaron Aby and I'm here to win it. And I'm sure you're going to go out there and you're going to get it done, mate. So.
Yeah. It is that there is like proving everyone wrong and everything, but there's I've said this from the start of my MMA career. This journey's bigger than me, bigger than my wins and loss ratios. It's about giving people hope and providing them with that positive story. You know, like when I was growing up and I read into cystic fibrosis, life expectancy 16, not going to get married, don't need a pension. I need something to find that would give me a bit of inspiration, a bit of positive hope. So whether that was the movies I was watching or the underdog story, I want to be that for people as well. I want, you know, parents of CF who have babies with CF and don't know what it is can look and research it and find that positive story and be able to give them that hope as well. So I'm here to go wrong, but I'm also here to give people some hope, and that's important.
Well, even your parents' mindset as well. They must have a very strong mindset themselves and a very strong belief system, obviously, that they've instilled into you. Because me as a parent myself, obviously, if you get told that kind of news, it's going to be heartbreaking. Like not going to get past 16, not going to get married, no point in a pension, all the rest of it. It's quite a defeatist kind of mindset, isn't it? Nobody, like, they're not going, right, these are the things you can do. Stay active. Let's work on your lung capacity. Let's do this. Let's do that. Yeah, I mean, it's.
Tell me a story. They got home from the hospital after I'd come out of hospital, a baby, and they booklet, chucked it in the bin, and just said that's not going to be his life.
Yeah,
and just started from there. Really, obviously, those early years, I didn't know anything different. As I started to grow up and learn more, so I was very fortunate with that.
Yeah, it sounds like they've done the right thing there as well. They've not let somebody else shape your path. They've helped shape it for you and let you take the reins as well and just run with it throughout your childhood into your adolescence and obviously through your teens as well. You know what I mean? So, and then up to your adult life, and you've thrived with it constantly. You've overcome adversity multiple times throughout your life, throughout your career. And you're still going now and you're still pushing. So is there anything you do, like you say, you'd like to give that inspiration and you'd like to give back to people and show them, like any new parent today finds out, oh, by the way, your child's got cystic fibrosis, these are what the possible outcomes could be, or this is what their future may look like. Is there anything that you've done, like maybe not seminars, but have you gone to like places and just spoke about it and just gave people a little bit of information?
I go to schools, spoke to the CF trusts. I've done web seminars during COVID. Obviously, I get messages off people, parents with CF all the time messaging me. And like I say, when I get that around a fight, whether I've won or lost, that always touches me more. Saying like, you know, I've that they've been in a dark place and then they've read my story and seen some hope and some light in a dark time. That's something I aim to do. That's why I always wear the CF Trust logo on the middle of my shirts, in the middle of my banners from my very first fight, and I will do until my last fight. That's always been important for me, and that's something that I've always aimed to do.
And I'm sure that some of these stories that give you that little bit more inspiration yourself to just keep pushing as well, don't they? So
yeah,
mate, unbelievable. But you mentioned a second ago a bit of football. So you played football as well, didn't you? Just like before you became an MMA fighter, you were competing in football.
Yeah, football was my first love. I was fortunate to play professional clubs from the age of 12.
Incredible, mate.
Competed, played for my country a few times.
You scored a goal for Slovakia as well, didn't you? I think I read online.
How do you know that?
I found an article online, mate, as I was just doing a bit of like research for the interview, and I was like, yeah, look at this one. He scored a goal for Slovakia. Incredible, mate.
That was the ball literally hit me in the face, and I remember chasing after it as fast as I could because it was going in. I'm going to score for Slovakia.
There's no stopping it.
My mates always bring it up now, so it's a lot of people haven't got, but I've managed to get here.
Yeah, that's an incredible fucking story to be telling people as well. But I played for the national team and I scored for Slovakia. Imagine that. So what position did you play?
To be honest, I played a few positions throughout my career. Like my favourite one was like in behind the striker or a bit of a free role. But for Wales, when I played for the year above, I'd play fullback.
Right. Okay.
Played for the year above a few times, so I played right fullback. But for my own age, I was like centre mid. For Wales, but yeah, I was never like one of those. Again, I was quite versatile, had a good football brain, could play in a few positions. Depending on the manager, seemed my best fit depending on what team I was playing for at the time.
I mean, if you're running track and setting records, I'll be sticking you in the centre mid as well, with box to box kind of player. Get that boy up and down the pitch, man, and get the ball in the box.
Like wing back as well.
Yeah.
Post ground. I was like, oh,
right, okay. And you played with some big names in the past as well. I read like you had Aaron Ramsey, Joe Allen, Gareth Bale, all of them. Obviously, like those boys have gone on to absolutely incredible teams, incredible careers, and you went into fighting. But mate, it must have been some experience growing up playing with those people. What type of talent did they have at that age? Could you see a difference to them to like not your average player? Because obviously,
I've been asked this before, not long ago actually. They were like, "Did they start out then?" And I was like, no, not really. It was just like I remember they just stayed committed and had the commitment and put in the extra work. And obviously, the thing is, you play with people at international level, but then you wouldn't see them for like 3 months when you went back to your club and everything.
Yeah.
I think they had a bit of luck in the right time, but they also had the right effort and commitment to it. Like I said, they had that mindset. I reckon like the players you name there, they would need to get pulled off the bleep test rather than just quitting at a certain level and everything. I always remember Taylor because I'm still good friends with him today, but he went on to have a great career, and I remember just like he was up training first, last to leave, just little things like that I've managed to take like him into mixed martial arts and develop it. Mindset's really important.
Right, okay. So where did it all change for you then? Where did you come from football into MMA? Where did it switch? Where did your love for the sport grow? And how did you make that change?
My uncle started taking a mixed martial arts class for cystic fibrosis. He used to train in every summer under Eric Poulsen. Go out, spend 6 to 8 weeks there every summer, come back. And then one year he was like, right, I'm going to teach it while I'm back. And he just started a class for charity on a Wednesday night. So I used to go with my dad, and I was living with my dad at the time, and all the local doorman, because my dad ran the doors in Wrexham.
Right, okay.
I just started going once a week, become twice a week, and just fell in love with it. And at the time, I'd ended up playing in the Welsh Prem, and I was every time football was on, and I wasn't at MMA, I'd be at football training thinking about MMA training.
Yeah.
It just transitioned and snowballed from there, really.
And so obviously, back in the 90s when you first started doing that, it wasn't really a mixed martial arts as it is today. So what type of thing was it that you were doing to begin with? Like, was it a jiu-jitsu? Was it a taekwondo? Was it boxing, kickboxing style? Or
it was mixed martial arts, funnily enough, but it was split. So like,
right, okay,
would be like striking with grappling, and then Wednesday grappling with striking.
Right. Okay.
And then when it went to 3 sessions a week, one would be striking, one would be wrestling, one would be like jiu-jitsu, and then it just built from there. I remember I moved down to the MMA academy under Jason Tan to get some more full-time training in, and I was fortunate to be with Jason Tan, Mike Wooten, and Pietro Menga, who were the highest level pros at the time in my weight, and it just grew from there, really.
So how old were you when you made that jump then and moved over with those guys?
I think I was 19 at the time, and I ended up turning 23, so 2022 maybe. So I was there training with them, and they were already pros at the time, and my partners, and then like Steve Nightingale come across a few years, well, maybe a couple of years later, and now he's my head coach, and it just grew from there.
Yeah. So yeah, from what I've seen online, again, like I say, I've done some research for it. So you had 2 amateur fights, 2011, 2012. one was a no contest, and then you started your professional career in 2013. You went on to fight in multiple promotions at flyweight. You had 5 submission wins, 1 TKO, and then a number of unanimous decisions as well under your belt. So, all right, what was your favorite promotion to fight for over the years?
Ooh. You know, I always enjoyed fighting abroad.
Right. Okay.
However, ACB at the time, which is now AC, you know, I got to fight at the MAN, got to fight at Sheffield Arena. That provided the biggest venues and arenas for me to fight at. I love fighting them, but I also had some great times with Cage Warriors. You know, UKFC at the Guildhall in Preston was always awesome. FCC. Was always, you know, I haven't got a bad thing to say about any of the shows, really. They all stick out for different reasons. Yeah.
Wicked, mate, wicked. So what was your favorite performance of your career so far? The one that stuck out to you the most, maybe meant that little bit more to you, and as
the one that probably meant the most to me was the comeback one out of After Cancer.
Right, okay.
Even though it was a draw, just because it was such a massive achievement, and for me, it was me putting the cancer chapter to rest. That was the one that meant most to me. But the best performance and my best probably night of enjoyment in mixed martial arts was the Geraldo Fanny fight in Manchester. I had a big crowd there, and at the time, I wasn't expected to win. I think I was like a 4-1 underdog at the night.
Yeah. Was that a triangle finish on that one? Was it?
No, that was a rear naked choke. He was expected.
Oh, rear naked choke. Sorry.
He was expected to go to the UFC if he beat me.
Right.
He was on like a 5-fight winning streak of like knocking everyone out. And then I ended up like dominating the first 2 rounds and getting the finish in the third. So that was probably my favorite performance. But again, I've enjoyed them all. You know, like. With UAE Warriors and stuff has been great fighting in like local shows in Liverpool, in small venues with massive atmospheres has been great. The Guildhall in Preston was like wow at the time of being there. So you know they all stick out.
I take it the crowds were just getting bigger and bigger as well when you got there, so it just seemed more surreal every time you went onto these different places.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine what it's like having so many thousands of people screaming for you walking down a tunnel, mate, and walking out to see them, and just every bit of it hit you, the emotion, the build up, the momentum.
Every time you watch me walk out and I'm holding back the tears before the fight, and I'm like, heavy, you're gonna have a scrap in like 1 minute. But you know, it will be the same in this one in the arena for sure.
Yeah, mate, I could imagine so. And yeah, great being able to get over cancer like you did and fight through it. And then obviously tough journey for yourself. A lot of people go through it, tough journey for a lot of people, but to get to that other side, make it back into the cage, it must have been a phenomenal moment for you, and it must have meant the absolute world that you managed to overcome that. Again, another adversity in your life that makes you a massive inspiration for a lot of people. Of don't give up, don't give up the fight, and just keep on going. You know what I mean? So so you mentioned before that innocent kid, didn't really know too much about the cystic fibrosis as you were coming up and doing these sports and things. It was just normal everyday life for you. when you, like you said, you started understanding it a little bit more into your teens, obviously learning about different parts of it in school when you're doing the science and stuff. So how did that affect the start of your MMA career? Like what, or how did you approach things differently with training, knowing what you then knew once you've learned a little bit of knowledge about it? Did you approach any camp differently, or go on?
I thought the MMA at the start helped my cystic fibrosis. Obviously, the training, especially the wrestling, but also the nutrition side. Obviously, when you play football, you don't think about the nutrition as much as you do when you go into a weight categorized sport. So I felt like I learned a lot about nutrition, which helped my fibrosis as well. Like the conditioning sessions was something I weren't used to, so that was helping my cystic fibrosis. And then I just had to, like, obviously make sure I was resting, sleeping well, and like if people were coughing in the gym, maybe I'd have to like avoid them at the times and stuff. Be smart with it that way. But I feel like fighting and cystic fibrosis, well, fighting and life, I'll say, not just cystic fibrosis, they're the most relatable things in the world, you know. And I feel like they help each other. There's times I've been in the cage or in a fight camp, and something I've experienced in life has got me through it. And there's times in life where something from mixed martial arts has got me through it. So I feel like they relate.
No, massively, because it's like if you can get through one adversity in one place, you can get through the adversity in another place, can't you? And like you say, going through training, lung capacity, all the rest of it, and getting stuck in an uncomfortable situation, and knowing just to stay calm and breathe and do whatever you can just to see it through and get out the other side, like you say, goes into life and goes into mixed martial arts or fighting as well. So next thing I was going to ask you was about the diet piece, because obviously that would have messed with you. Fighters have a very strict diet as it is. So what were your learnings, from living with cystic fibrosis that was making it easier to achieve, or was your diet that extra little bit strict compared to what somebody else might have had to be from a nutritional point?
So growing up with cystic fibrosis, you're told to eat like high calorie foods, get them from anywhere, a high fat diet, because we don't absorb nutrients like normal people.
Right. Okay.
The advice is changing now with learning about getting it from the right foods and everything. But like that, growing up, like obviously as a kid, my mum would feed me like milkshakes after milkshakes with like chocolate bars, ice cream in, because we struggled to put on weight. But when I started getting involved in professional sport, I was like, this isn't right, this, you know. I need to be eating healthy. And I feel like when I from that year 7, year 8, when I started playing in professional sport and learning about nutrition, that translated over, and I was eating better, eating healthier, still putting on weight, but getting it from the right foods. And I've always had, you know, like got books on nutrition, studied nutrition. I've always had that interest in nutrition and performing properly, because obviously if my cars doesn't work as well as everyone else, I need to get maximum output out of it. So I was always like looking into all aspects of health and going. That's something.
Dog's back. I don't know if you can hear him back in there. Yeah, that's what I was thinking there as well. It's getting dark quick, isn't it, mate? Probably put a light on there. Like. Boom, there we go. So great, mate, great answer. That's obviously a massive part of a fighter as well, is looking at your nutritional point of view and making sure that you're getting everything that you need into your body. Like you say, if your car's not running as well as somebody else's, what do you need to do to make it better? It's all about the fuel you're putting in for your output. So were you steady 3 meals a day, looking at everything, or intermittent, kind of like one big meal, whatever you put in is whatever you put out type of thing? Or
every diet.
Everyone under the sun.
Every diet, and what I found is they all work. But like some work better for different individuals. Obviously now I'm coaching and giving people different advice and everything. But for me, like over the times, one diet's worked better than the others. If I'm on chemotherapy, I might have to switch it to something else. I found like if I need to put on weight, I need to do this. But I just try and get real food, and just don't complicate it any more than that, really. Than at certain times, I've done them all. I've been vegan, I've done keto, I've done a bodybuilding I've done intermittent fasting, which I found really helped when I was on the chemotherapy and stuff. So like for me, I'm not like, I don't want to like put myself into one bracket of one certain diet works best for everyone. As long as I'm eating real food and mixing up how I do that, that's fine.
Yeah, wicked, mate, wicked. So obviously you've kept yourself fit and active all your life, and throughout your fights and what I've gone back and had a look at and things, like you've had a dominant background in grappling and jiu-jitsu. So what type of challenges did you face around, like you said before, like the wrestling could be quite tough around your lung capacity and breath work and things like that? Do you do any kind of breath work exercises in the morning to help with your lung capacity, or is it something now that you're training every day, so it's training?
Yeah, I'm training every day. I've done breath work. I've done taping my mouth and stuff to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, breathing drills and drills like that growing up. But I find there's nothing for me than training.
Yeah, just getting into the gym and just keeping it going. So obviously, like you mentioned a second ago, during your MMA career, you were diagnosed with stage 3 testicular cancer. And I seen a video on there. You mentioned to your coach you were sparring, and after the sparring session, did you say, "Did I take a nut shot?" And
Yeah,
you were experiencing some pain, and you wasn't too sure on what it was. So tell me a little bit about how you found out, and what it was like hearing the news. You know what I mean? Obviously, it can't have been great.
no, like I had a few hospital visits, and at first there was like water infection and stuff, and then when I finally got the diagnosis, obviously you're a bit in denial and stuff, and just like, oh, sure, can't have that as well of everything else. But yeah, I just went through that journey and that process, and like again using mental strength and flicking it to, you know, the hardest thing for me was accepting the chemotherapy, because I knew what it does to the body that I've been spending life looking after. But then I was like, right, I'm just gonna have to put my gum shield in, bite down, and take everything it throws at me to get out the other end. But the cancer is the hardest battle I've had to go through physically, mentally. I did to my body and everything, and what it also does to me and my family and everyone around me. But that's why I said that one back after cancer was the proudest I've been, of not just my, but everyone else who supported me and everything. But it was a long, over 2-year process of ups and downs, and cancer going away, coming back, you know, operations, chemotherapy for 20 hours a day with 4 hours off. It was a long process.
So how old were you when you got that diagnosis then?
I think I was 27 or 28.
Must be tough, mate. Must be tough.
28, I think. And you know, like I've got cystic fibrosis. Like, surely I'm not going to get cancer as well and stuff at the start. And my nana was just dying of cancer at the time, so I didn't want to tell them. So I was like trying to hide it from people in the family as well, because I didn't want to put an extra burden on them. But then it come to a point where, you know, like I said, I bit down on my gum shield, did everything I could in control, make sure I was looking after my nutrition, trying to get my lungs healthy, like looking into diets around chemotherapy and everything, and you know, coming together with everyone, the support around me, and we managed to get through it. But I didn't want to just survive cancer. I wanted to get back to where I was before the cancer, and I feel like this chance of this title now is, so I mean, this is everything that you're dreaming of when you're going through the things I've been through. It's about becoming a world champion and making a big impact on people, no matter what they go through. So this could be it. This could be the pinnacle in this that we managed to reach.
That's it, mate. That's it. You've been dealt one hell of a deck of cards anyway in your life, I'll tell you that. But you've played the game, and it seems like you've come out on top every time. You know what I mean? Definitely don't want to play you at poker, mate, because you'll probably end up winning at that too. But now, like, it must have been really tough for your family, everybody. Like you say, it doesn't just affect you. I'm sorry to hear about your nan as well, mate, at that time. And your family were going through it, and like you say, trying to hide it from them. But there's only so long you could have tried to hide it from them. You know what I mean? They would have started seeing it taking its effects, and especially like going for chemo, radiotherapy, and all the rest of it too. It would have started having the physical, the effect on your body as well. So you would have had to come out eventually and say to them, "What, this is what I'm going through as well." And it must have been a tough time, especially at that 26, 27, like you said. I can't believe you've gone through that in such a short span of your lifetime. Like you say, I've also got cystic fibrosis. I'm really going to be getting hit with this at such a young age. Like, but if there was anybody, and I obviously not wishing it on anybody, but if there was anybody that was going to get it and beat it, it was you, mate. Like, I mean, you've had this story of like the underdog, like you say, this mindset of overcoming things, and it seems to be your story. It was like not I'm saying you were meant to get it, but you know what I mean, like you were built for this. You're a warrior through and through. You're an absolute fighter like all your life, and you've battered everything that's been put in front of you from what we've been talking about so far and what I've seen from what I've read online. So mate, unbelievable, man, unbelievable. I don't know if you've seen my post on Insta when I shared that little interview that you had. I had something similar, like shooting pains in my nut, bringing me down to my knees at times. It was really, really sore. Went into the doctor and they said the same thing to me: water infection, here's some antibiotics, and sent me on my way. So when I heard you in that interview, it really like hit home with me, resonated quite a lot when I heard you speak about those things. And I was like, crap, man, like that could have been me in that same situation as well. I mean, I still get pain from time to time, so I don't know whether I should go back and get a second examination and get a different opinion from somebody else. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, puts the fear of life into you, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
I think it's always worth getting a second opinion, mate. I would say that to anyone. And today, I think if I wouldn't have gone back, you know, for the third time, I'd probably be dead. It would have been even later than it was. So I do think it's worth going back for sure.
So during that time, like you say, you put your gum shield in, you bit down, and you thought, right, let's fucking smash into this and get into this. Obviously, Richard Shaw has just gone through his own kind of cancer stages as well, and he had released a vlog recently where he was speaking about the training and keeping up with things like that in between chemo where he could and trying to keep himself active. Were you the same? Were you still trying to stay active?
I'd have 5 days of chemo on, 2 weeks, 2 days off. So I'd always make sure I get some training on that last week before in again, and was making sure, you know, doing it physically and for myself mentally.
And how did it feel like? Obviously, you would have been going up and down, energy levels, all the rest of it. And was there times where you're just like, right, push yourself, let's get this done, Aaron? I mean, we need to get through this. We need to get onto this, and
all the time, like
every day.
It was tough. You don't feel great at all. I'm not gonna like sit here and tell people you know you'll feel okay because you don't. You know, I'd never felt like that ever in my life. But I'd always try and make sure I got stuff done, and like I said, just have that mental ability to push through things, even though I really, really, really didn't feel like I could. I would always make sure that, you know, just having that strength to do that, because like I said, you know, chemo just kills your body, kills all the goodness, kills your cells, kills everything, and you don't feel good at all.
So did you have any surgery or anything? Or was it literally just chemotherapy?
Yeah, I had 3 operations.
Right, okay.
The last one to get the mass out of my stomach.
Yeah, because it had spread up to your stomach as well, hadn't it?
Which takes blood to and from the heart. So that was a big operation where only one surgeon in the UK would do.
Really?
So I had to go to Birmingham for that, and Dr. Patel managed to get rid of that mass in the stomach, and then that's when I started the process of the cancer being gone and getting back on the recovery.
And you said it went and it came back. So was that before the surgery?
Before.
Right, okay. So I can't imagine what was going through your head at the stages where you thought, right, I've beaten this, it's away, and then boom, you get hit with it again. It's come back again. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's progressed to that stage 3. So you went 3 visits to the doctor. So obviously the first one you were just having the aches and the pains, and they sent you away with the antibiotics. But you were in a camp at the time. I think I seen in that interview, and you were saying I didn't want to take them because obviously it would affect you during your camp, and you were going into that fight. And is he? What was the second time? Was it just continual pain?
Fight.
Right.
And they give me some more antibiotics, but they booked me in for a scan, and then I went to the scan, and I had the scan, the ultrasound on the testis, and then that's when they sent me back to the doctors to get the results, and then it just went from there.
Right. Okay. So were you stage 3 from the get go then, or did it progress
No,
quite quickly?
it was spreading. I remember I'd been training one day and I went back in the garden. It was sunny and I was sitting in the garden sunbathing with
Yeah.
me. We were lying down and we were like, "What the fuck is that coming out of your stomach?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know." It was like just a
Right.
big mass, and then we went to the hospital.
Right.
And we had to have another scans and seen it spread and stuff.
Unbelievable, mate, especially in 2 years, short amount of time, you know what I mean? Because that's 2 years is not a long amount of time for that to be spreading and to be changing and developing so much within your body. And that's what people always say. My missus always says it as well. You don't know what's going on in the inside. You can't see through yourself, can you? You know what I mean? So it's a scary thought to not the unknown in it. You don't know what's going on in there at all. And then you just see this kind of mass coming up in your stomach as well, mate. So I seen in another interview, I might maybe been the same one, and you released a YouTube short of it recently as well, talking about you were told you've got 2 weeks left to live at that point. What was it like hearing that?
It it was,
Or maybe not 2 weeks, maybe weeks. Like you got weeks left
yeah,
to live. It might have been it.
it was one of them where it was end of life care or fight it.
Yeah.
So it's you got two options: you sink or swim. I decided to swim as hard as I could. There is no other option. You just got to again. I just make sure I control what I could and always find those bits of hope. I'd still set goals. I'd be like, right, I'm going to beat this. I'm going to get back fighting, and that's why it wasn't for me just about surviving. It was getting back to the goals I'd set and what I'd set out to accomplish before that, and that's what I'm on that journey is still doing.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't want to like, I'm not bad mouthing anybody or anything yet. I mean, it's horrible news to receive, but you do kind of find that some people, when they receive the news, can kind of give up pretty quickly and they kind of accept defeat over it. And it can be so, it's mad because you can see somebody who's got, or doesn't seem to have any symptoms or anything that you can see from the outside. And then they get the news that's what's maybe they're feeling lightheaded or faint or whatever it is. They go and get some blood tests and then they find out they've got cancer, etc. And once they find out the diagnosis, some people go downhill fast.
Yeah.
Whereas before that, it didn't seem like they were anywhere near that stage. You know what I mean? So
the diagnosis can kill you. It's that mental patient. You have to fight it. It's going to be tough, and it's going to be easy for anyone. But you have to. Like I said, I want to be that little bit of light when it's dark, a bit of hope, because look, life's tough. Tough. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy. It's not meant to be easy. You've got to find those ways to get you through those tough situations, and that mindset, and not accepting. Wouldn't say not accepting the diagnosis, but not accepting. It's written now. You're just gonna fall away. You've got to be willing to dig in at times.
Yeah, and I can't even imagine what it was going through for your parents at the time. Like you say, with your gran as well, going through it, for them to hear that and be told not to write yet, to start writing your will, and you've only got a few weeks left. So I can't imagine what was going through them. Like as a parent myself, my daughter's only 19 months. Like that really hit a heartstring as well. Is mate, I couldn't even start to like think about how they were feeling at that time, to be told that information, like the emotional damage and the trauma that it is to try and get over that for them as well as you know what I mean? So, but obviously you're a very strong family because you've came through a lot of things over the years, and you've probably stuck together all the way through it, supported each other, and came out on the other side. Tough, unbelievable story, man. Unbelievable. Like I genuinely can't think of anybody else on the planet like you. Yeah, I mean, there's only one Aaron Aby, and that's what people should be singing when you walk out for this championship fight. There's only one Aaron Aby, and it's going to be incredible.
I feel like there are other people like me. In the world, which also will spread hope and have been through tough times. And it's one of them. It's like people say, you're always searching for happiness, and life's meant to be happy, but it's and I always used to say, listen, I've said it in interviews plenty of times, I don't believe in fairy tales, and they're called fairy tales for a reason. However, this is my chance now on November the 4th to write that fairy tale ending, finish the movie, and complete that chapter. And that's what I'm aiming to do.
And then start on the second movie from there.
And then start on the second.
That's it, mate. That's it. So for anybody listening, anybody that's going through this, any men, like even myself, what you say, go and get it checked again if I've still got the concerns around it. What type of symptoms did you have leading up? Because some people, like, you know what men are like, I mean, we can get a little like pain here and there, whatever, I mean, and just brush on with it and not really think about things too much, not want to delve into it too much, or even go to the doctors. They say one of the hardest things to do is get a man to go to the doctors. So what type of symptoms did you go through, and what advice?
Pain.
Yeah.
And obviously when you've got pain, your body's trying to tell you something. So that it was no more complicated than that. I'm not a doctor or can advise on anything like that, but if you've got pain, there's a reason behind it. So I just went and got checked out from there, really.
Yeah. Right, cheers, mate. Cheers for sharing that story. Like, honestly, like I say, incredible. And my next question at the end of that piece was obviously, how did it feel getting the all clear and getting back into the cage? But obviously, we covered that before, and you said making it back into the cage and getting to the end of that fight and getting back to normality for you, really. Like you say, getting back to the goals that you'd set before and everything is what you really wanted to achieve. It wasn't just beating the cancer; it was getting back to who you were before and not letting it define your life or your path or your career or anything like that. So. We can move on to something new and new things recently for you. So obviously you've opened a new gym.
Yeah. We've moved our old gym to a new gym, which has been great, challenging as well. But great of the IPC and everything in Wrexham and mixed martial arts, and that's been exciting. And I've got some really good competitors who are going to be coming through over the next years as I've got some now, so I'm looking forward to that. And the community we've built there, that's been exciting. But yeah, everything at the moment is focused on that fight in November the 4th and what I'm going to bring forward to that.
Yeah. So let's talk. What was the experience of building it? Like you say, it had its challenges and it was rough. What was the whole? Because it seemed to come together pretty quick. Maybe it was just a YouTube video that made me feel like it came through pretty quick. But there was one day it was an empty building and there was nothing in there. Next minute the flats were down. The mats were down. The running track and everything.
Yeah, it's a long process. That gym journey will be a podcast in
itself.
Yeah. I had a lot of people who were supporting me, helping me as well. I was in fight camp, and that's what I mean. I talk about the community. It was great. It got me through it and got the gym to where it.
And is that something that means a lot to you, due to obviously, like you say, your uncle with the cystic fibrosis training come back and put that on charity piece? And is this something that you've always wanted to do for the community, is have this place where people can come and learn and develop like you did as a young man going into the gym and doing these things? Is it something you've always wanted to give back?
That's my way to give back.
Yeah.
Is the gym and the people in it. And that's why it's called Fire Performance Center.
Yeah.
It being inspiring for people, but it's also inspired me by the people I've met through it. But yeah, that's my way to give back for sure, and teach people what
awesome, mate. And
training.
Like you say, you've got some prospects coming through there as well, don't you?
Yes, I've got a lot of prospects and pros now training at the gym, which is great, and I'm looking forward to the future in coaching as well.
Wicked, mate, wicked. So like I say, the gym looks incredible. For, like we said, for me, it looked like it was there. It was an empty shell one day. Next minute, it was a fully blown gym. And I like the piece where it was. I think it was the guy laying the mats down, and then he turned around and said, "Oh yeah, the Astros coming tomorrow." And he's like, "Who's laying that down?" You're like, "You." And he was just like, "What?" And he was like, "Oh no, okay." So I take it that was just like friends getting mates rates in there and giving you an hand with it, some joiners and stuff.
Fortunate with all that, I've had some great people, and I've known some great people, and they were all fortunate to chip in how they could. Yeah,
that's it, mate. Get the boys around and get them down, and even get some of the members of the gym in to see what they can do for you. I mean, a little bit of labor make them pay you to come to the gym, or you need to come and lay down the mats and get the labor down for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so yeah, honestly, everyone in that gym found a way to help. It was great.
Yeah.
Chipping away, doing stuff, and even moving stuff over. It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Like I say, just from the YouTube videos and that, you've got a massive like community. Like, you can really feel the community spirit coming through in those videos as well. You can see you're a close little family there, and you all mean a lot to each other, and you're all willing to help each other in the day to day. So moving on to the YouTube stuff, mate, and obviously we've got a joint friend in Paul. He's obviously a little bit social media editor for you, on manager on it as well. And it also kind of ties in with your fight that's coming up. Is you've got a lot more cameras on you, mate. You've got a lot of media work going into it. The Octagon team are in there filming training sessions. You've got Wrexham FC's Ollie Palmer in the gym hitting mitts. Yeah, like you've got so much stuff going on recently, mate. There you go, boom. So what's it like? What's the experience? All these new things in your life. What's it feel like for the build up of this fight?
I'm just making sure I appreciate it, really.
Yeah.
Only got 5% battery left, so I'm not going
Right,
to
we'll wrap this up quick, mate.
keep it too long. But like Paul come to me at the right time about the YouTube channel. It was asked to do it loads of times in the past, for not like for my MMA career, but the cystic fibrosis community have asked me a lot of times. People in the gym have asked me to do stuff. And he just seemed to approach me at the right time. We had a conversation on the phone, and we were like, right, let's do it. Because, like I said to him, I needed someone. Like, I've always been told, can you do a YouTube channel? Can you need to do a podcast? This and that. Like, who wants to listen to me or see me on camera? And
me, mate.
I appreciate that. I feel like without Paul, I wouldn't have done it. He's constantly like supporting me. Do this, do that.
Yeah.
And obviously he's editing it, because I haven't got the time to do everything that he's been great doing, and just the ideas he comes up with. And like if he asks you how bad I was at the start, it would be laughable, because it used to take me like 3 days to do a 2-minute script he'd asked me to.
It's awkward for everybody, mate. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm new into this game as well, and it's weird talking into a camera. It's weird sitting there doing this and speaking with a stranger at times. You know what I mean? Like, I understand it, mate, and the confidence levels is where it all comes from as well, as sitting down and doing it. But it builds over time, and like I say, your content's phenomenal.
Guessing with it, and sometimes it's a lot of work, especially being in a fight. But I'm making sure that I appreciate it, I enjoy it. I know he's put a video at 5 o'clock, so after this, I'm going to eat some food and sit down and see how that's going, and catch up. So I'm just
he's
taking it inside of everything that comes with media, big fight, and the YouTube, and it's one of them. I understand with this opportunity I've got comes media obligations, and anything I can build the fight, but also promote the story in a positive limelight, and give people that hope and positive story is something that I was made to do through this journey. To wrap this up, I've wore that Cystic Fibrosis Trust logo on from my first fight, and like I said, I'll be doing it when I hopefully go and win that World Championship on November the 4th. It's always been something I'm aiming to do, is promote that positive story. And before that time, I didn't have the cancer, and that's ended up adding to the journey and the story of Aaron Aby. And this is my story, but the aim is to provide a hope in other people's stories, because everyone's unique and has their individual story. And if I can help that one person, that's been a success and made everything worth going through. And by having this platform that I'm fortunate to be given on November the 4th, and take everything like the YouTube channel and social media into aspect, I've got to make sure that I'm maximizing this opportunity to help people and grow that story out there. So I'm fortunate to have people like yourself and everyone who's interviewing me and getting me on their podcasts and everything. And like I said, I'm trying to make the most of it, but hopefully after November the 4th, mate, we'll get back on. We'll talk about world title and everything. And
yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, I'd love to have you back, mate. Definitely. And like you say, you've got all them platforms there to help promote your story, help promote cystic fibrosis, cancer survivors, all the rest of it as well. So, well, like we say, your phone's probably on the brink of dying here. So let's wrap this up with a big shout out to Paul and the Bloody Good Show.
Before I go, I'd just like to say that we did the YouTube subscribe channel earlier, and you won the signed glove, which is massive.
I won.
You won because I was
not a chance, mate.
I was like, I'm on it. I'm on the podcast later. And he was like, what, is that today? And I was like, yeah, it's going to look massively.
Do you know what? I WhatsApped Paul and said, have I won that glove then or what? And he not even replied all day. He's not even replied all day, mate. Get in.
And I was like, well, I'll tell him on there later. So he'll sort that out with you, mate. But I appreciate that.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much.
And having me on today. But like I said, my battery is about to die.
Yeah, no worries. Hopefully I'll get a chance to meet you, mate. I'll come along with Paul to the gym one day. I mean, we can make some YouTube content, get hitting some mitts, a little bit of sparring or something, have a bit of fun with it.
Thank you.
Right, mate. All the best for your fight, and obviously we'll keep in touch. So yeah, take care. Thank you very much for coming on.
Nice one.
Cheers, mate. Adios.